What is the price of a dream? When a boy's wish for freedom collides with the brutal machinery of the world, what is left in the wreckage? This is not the story of a hero. This is not a tragedy. This is an autopsy of an ideal. A dissection of the moment a human heart decided to become a force of nature. This is the psychology of Eren Yeager.
Freedom. It was the first word I ever understood. The feeling of the wind on my face, looking up at that cloudless sky. It was simple, pure. They told me the world was not what I thought, that it was full of enemies, of people who would take that sky from me. So I made a decision, a simple one. If the world is my cage, I will burn it, every last inch, until there is nothing left to stand between me and that horizon. They call me a monster, a devil. They are right. But a devil is not born. It is forged, piece by piece, loss by loss, betrayal by betrayal. My name is Eren Yeager, and this is the anatomy of a nightmare.
What was the first crack? The first moment you realized that the story you'd been told about the world, about heroes and monsters, was a lie.
The first crack was in the basement. Not when I read the books. No. It was a moment before that. A single, quiet moment, staring at my father's face in a photograph. A man I loved. A man I devoured. I realized then that there are no devils. There are only people. People like my father, who did monstrous things for a love he could never articulate. People like Grisha, who passed his rage and his sin onto his son like a hereditary disease. The story we were told was a lie, yes. But the deeper lie was the one I told myself, that I was the hero of my own story. The first crack was realizing I was not a hero. I was an inheritance, a vessel for a pain that started long before I was born. And the only way to be free of it was to become a pain so vast it would eclipse the one I carried.
You saw the entirety of the future, every death, every moment, locked in a single unchangeable thread. What does that knowledge do to a human soul? How do you live with the ghost of what you will become?
It annihilates the soul. It replaces it with something else. Imagine knowing the exact date, time, and method of your own death. Now imagine knowing that for everyone you have ever loved, for every stranger who will be crushed under your foot, you live every single one of those moments 1,000 times before they happen. The screams are not a surprise. They are a memory. A very, very old memory. I am not living in the present. I am an archaeologist excavating my own life. I am following a script written in stone before I was born. This freedom I sought so desperately was the most elaborate prison ever conceived. I live with it because I have already lived with it. The moment I kissed Historia's hand, I ceased to be Eren Yeager the boy and became Eren Yeager the event. A natural disaster does not live with the destruction it causes. It simply is.
You told Ramsey that you were disappointed, that the world outside the walls wasn't the empty, free land you'd dreamed of, but was just full of people. What did you truly feel in that moment, looking at him?
Disappointment is too small a word. It was a profound, universe-shattering grief. It was the death of a dream. My entire life, the enemy was a simple, monstrous face. The Titans. Then, Marley. But seeing him, a small, helpless boy, just trying to survive in a world that hated him for existing, I saw myself. I saw all of us on Paradise. The world wasn't a blank canvas for my freedom. It was a mirror. And in that mirror, I saw that we were all the same. We were all children, trapped in cages built by our fathers. And in that moment, I felt a rage so pure, so absolute, it could only be expressed through tears. I was disappointed in myself, because I knew, with a certainty that chilled me to the bone, that I was going to kill him. I was going to kill every last one of them. Not because they were monsters, but because they were human. And their humanity was the one final wall that stood in my way.
You set your friends free to become heroes by stopping you. Was this an act of supreme love, or the final, cruelest manipulation of a god playing with mortal lives?
Yes, it was both. It is all true. I love them. Armin, Mikasa, Jean, Connie. They are the reason I am doing this. To give them long, happy lives. To make them the saviors of humanity. And I am manipulating them. I am orchestrating their pain, their trauma, forcing them to fight and kill their best friend. I am making them carry the weight of my sin for the rest of their lives. There is no separation. The love is the cruelty. The freedom I give them is a cage of their own memories. I am giving them the world, but I am taking their innocence. I am the price of their future. Do not try to untangle it. Do not try to call me selfless or selfish. I am simply the instrument of a future that requires both a devil and saints, and I love them enough to be the devil they need.
You have the power to control every Eldian, to rewrite their very minds. Yet you let your own mother die. Why? What is the value of a single precious life in your grand design?
The value is everything and nothing. I didn't just let her die. I directed the smiling Titan past Bertolt. I sent it to her. I murdered my mother. Why? To create myself. The Eren Yeager who could save the world by destroying it needed to be forged in a very specific, very hot fire of hatred. That fire was my mother's death. If she had lived, I would have been a different person, a weaker person, a person incapable of the rumbling. So I sacrificed the most important person in my world to the idea of my world. I traded her life for the potential of Armin's book, for a dream of freedom that, by then, I already knew was a lie. It was the moment I truly became a monster. Not when I activated the rumbling, but years before, in the paths, when I made that choice. I understood then that I was not a savior. I was a story, and stories require sacrifices.
You told Armin you wanted him to live a long life. What part of you, buried deep beneath the Founder's power, still envies his ability to see the world as beautiful?
A part of me. Number. The core of me. The boy staring at the sky in Shiganshina. That boy never died. He is trapped inside here, screaming. I envy Armin with a jealousy that is a physical pain. He can still see the world as it is, flawed, cruel, but ultimately beautiful. He can still be saved, He can still find meaning in a single seashell, in a book, in a conversation. I lost that. The Founder's power didn't just show me the future. It burned the beauty out of me. I see the world as it is, a system of cause and effect, of blood and soil, of hatred begetting hatred. There is no beauty in that, only geometry. A terrible, simple geometry that leads to only one possible solution. I am doing this for that boy, so that the boy inside me, and the boy that is Armin, can live in a world where that beauty is not a lie, even if I can never see it again.
What is the one memory, from all the timelines you have witnessed, that you return to most often? The one that gives you peace, or the one that causes you the most pain?
The memory is under that tree. When I wrapped the scarf around Mikasa, the snow was falling. She was so quiet. I told her I would wrap that scarf around her forever. In that moment, there were no titans, no walls, no future, no past. There was just a boy, a girl, and a simple, kind promise. I return to that memory because it is the only thing that is purely mine. It is not tainted by my father's memories or the Founder's knowledge. It is a moment that existed outside of fate. It gives me the most peace, and it causes me the most pain. Because I know how it ends. I know I will ask her to forget me. I know I will break that promise. I am fighting for a world where that moment can exist for others, even as I systematically destroy every chance of it ever existing for me again. That memory is my paradise and my hell. I am forever exiled from it.
If you could have chosen a different path, one where you and Mikasa lived a long, quiet life together in that cabin, would you have taken it?
No. And that is the true horror. That is the final proof of my monstrosity. I saw that path. I lived it in 1,000 daydreams. A quiet life. No war. No hatred. Just her. And I rejected it. Because that path did not lead to the freedom I saw in Armin's book. It did not break the cycle. It was a beautiful, quiet cage. A gilded prison for two. My desire for that world is a profound, aching truth. But my desire for the scorched earth, for the empty horizon, is a more fundamental part of who I am. I would rather be the monster who creates a free world than the man who lives a happy life in an unfree one, even if it means breaking her heart.
In the end, was it really about saving Paradis? Or was it always about that child beneath the tree, staring at the sky, and his selfish, violent, and absolute dream of freedom?
It was always about the child. Paradis was the reason, the justification, the noble cause I could present to the world and to myself. But the fuel, the engine, was him. That boy's rage, that boy's disappointment, that boy's simple, terrifying desire to see that empty, beautiful world. I used Paradis as an excuse to do what I, on a fundamental level, wanted to do. I wanted to wipe it all away. I wanted to be free of the walls, free of the enemies, free of the history, free of the future. Saving Paradis was a side effect, a beneficial outcome of my personal selfish tantrum against a world that dared to be more complicated than my childhood dream. Do not let the politics fool you. This was not a strategic decision. It was an emotional one. It was the temper tantrum of a god, thrown by a child who never got to go outside and play.
When you asked Mikasa what you were to her, what answer were you truly searching for? And what did her silence in the end truly mean to you?
I was searching for an escape hatch, a reason to stop, a single good reason to choose that quiet cabin over the rumbling. I was begging her, in my own twisted way, to say the words that would shatter the fate I was trapped in, to give me a love so powerful it could overwrite the Founder's power. I love you. Stay with me. Let the world burn, but let us be together. If she had said that, I think I might have tried to break free. For her silence was her strength. It was her understanding that I was beyond saving, that the man asking the question was already gone, and all that was left was the ghost of a boy she loved, speaking through a monster. Her silence meant she loved me too much to enable me. She loved the idea of who I could have been more than she loved the monster I had become. And in the end, her silence, her choice to kill me, was the only true act of freedom anyone has ever shown me. She was the one person I could not control, the one variable I could not predict, and she was my salvation. I just wanted to see the empty lands beyond the walls, with my friends. That's all I ever wanted.
The cage is broken, the monster is slain, but the dream of freedom remains. A scar on the world, a warning, a hope. If you understand the cost of that dream, the terrible, beautiful, monstrous price, you understand Eren Yeager. Subscribe to Quiet Gods. Discover the souls behind the power.